Hey everybody, welcome to a tips and tricks video. I've done one of these before and I just want to say again that this is just how I do things. I'm not saying this is the way you should do it. There's no right or wrong way to do anything, and basically these are just little tips and little things that I do when I'm building my parts just to make little things look more detailed or look better. And if you want to give them a try, then you're more than welcome to. So I've done one of these before, so I'll put a link down below in the description box for that video. This is a new one today, so let's get straight into it. Okay, so let's go into it. I am doing a few things today. I've lined up some stuff ready to show you. First thing, this one I get asked quite a lot, and it's diagonal sloped pieces. This is only achievable if you have the Track Edit 2 mod installed. So I'm just going to show you now. I'm going to take the Flawless coaster and I'm just going to do a really small station, a quick lift hill. Let's do a steep lift hill. I'm just showing you something quickly. I'm not going to do a full layout because it would take too long. So as you can see here, we've got the top of the lift. I'm going to do a sloping piece. I'm going to do it at number 2. I'm going to angle it slightly, and then I'm going to use, you can use either side, you can use a 1 or a 2. So I'm going to use the 1 for this one, and then I'm just going to curve it out at the bottom like so. So now as you watch the ghost train, whatever you want to call it, it will actually disappear. So what you have to do is you have to click where the piece you just put in, and it will come up red at the bottom. You have to delete that piece and then re-put it in again, and actually the automatic connect will kick in, and then it will work just as fine as it would if you were to build it without the Track Edit mod. So now that will work. Now if I watch the train go around, let's just make it a bit faster. There we go. So what you have to do is when you're doing these kind of angles on a coaster, you just have to keep going back and deleting them and re-putting them back in again on every piece that you put in the coaster, and your coaster will run fine. You may have a problem at the end when you come back to the station that it doesn't quite line up, but you can always, just click on the dot and press Alt Option and put it back on the grid so it lines up correctly with the station. So that's that one. The next one I'm going to show is something I've been asked as well, and this is doing transfer tracks. I've tried to use as much vanilla pieces here as I can. So let's go into that. You can do, there's quite a lot of different styles actually for transfer tracks. And so I'm just going to do a very generic transfer track just so you get an idea. But if you really want to get into the details, then it's best to go online and have a look at different style coasters, because the B&M ones are different to the Intamin ones, etc. So I'm just going to quickly pop down some track. So actually let's go back, let's make this the brake run from the end of the coaster. Then we'll do a little blocks area, and then we'll go into a station, like so. So let's delete that piece. So just imagine now this is the end of the coaster, go back to the station. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another piece of track, or you could download the custom track mod, which actually has the pieces already made, the CTS, and this will have the track pieces here that you can just click on and then put down for your transfer track. But before that mod came around, I did it this way, so maybe you want to do it the same. I would take another piece of coaster, make it the same height. Let's put it 1 away. And then add the area of where the train will be stored. So let's put some brakes on that as well, just to make it look a bit cool and real. So I'm going to actually go back here and delete that. So that's the train area where the track will be stored, where the train will be stored, sorry. So now you want to make the actual place where the track would move. So as you can see, this section here is the piece that's going to move. Theoretically, it won't actually move, and this will move over to this side where the train could be stored. this is just a little detail you can add at the end of your coaster to make it more real. So I'm using just normal pillars from the pillars, and I'm just gonna pop some down like this to make a frame. Let's do one in the middle as well. And then I've taken a border. Of course, with the borders, you can't do them on half grids, so I'm just going to have to change this slightly and do it like this. I've made this one is actually 1 square longer than the one I've done over there. So that's that. Then I've taken a square just from the shapes, made it small, and then I'm just going to add that onto the bottom of each corner, on each pillar, just to give it a sort of support footer kind of look. Then I've taken some angled pieces here, as you can see, just as kind of like a support frame kind of thing, just to give it a more supportive look. And this is the only piece that's not vanilla. This is a mod. I've used the steel pole from the Shy Guys dining set, and I'm actually just going to lay this across the beams here, just to give it the look of like a runner, so that you can see that the track would kind of roll across this bit. I mean, you don't have to do this, but I like to do it just as an extra detail. And then basically you kind of have it, and then I've just kind of dressed it up with some catwalks. So I've used the steel piece from the roofs section, so I'm just going to add that along there like this. Then obviously this would be the brake run, so I'm going to add a 2-sided one. And then I've taken just a simple fence here from the fences, and I've just kind of lined that up there along the edge. And there you basically have it. That's basically how you do it, and you can add obviously your own supports in, or whatever, or however you want to do it. Just as a final thing, I like to just put some grey terra painting underneath it, just so it gives like the look of that's the kind of area where the work happens. And you can also add a building over the bit where the train would be stored, but that's basically how I do a little transfer track. You can do it many different ways, but that's just one way to show you. So moving on to the next thing is dressing up a flat ride, and this is obviously the Twister ride, and as you can see I've made it look more round rather than square, and I've achieved this by very simply. So I'm going to take the Twister ride, I'm just going to place that down here. I'm going to put the entrance and the exits on the corner. Now I'm going to click on the ride, disable fences. Then for this to work, you're going to need some path covers. So here I'm taking the curved corners. This piece I'm going to colour it grey, and I'm going to put it around the ride like so, to make a round shape. And then I'm going to take the corresponding corner piece, so this is going to be a corner 2. I'm going to colour it in green to match the grass. And then to finish that off, actually on the corner, sorry, where you've done the entrance and exit, you're going to want to do the same colour corner. So let's just recolour that. Like so. So this is obviously where the guests can come in and out. It's quite hard to do it completely round because then the entrance and the exits look a bit funny sometimes. So then I'm going to go into the Shy Guys 4 set, and he has some railings in that set, these ones here, which are curved. If I can just select it. There we go. So it's from the Shy Guys 4 set. And then I'm just going to place these around the edge here. And then for the entrance and exit corner, I'm just going to take this straight piece of rail, but I really can't click on it today. There we go. So I'm just going to put that here, and one here, and maybe you can even do like things like this as well on these parts. That's basically the basic principle and idea to it. And then I just like to take some shrubbery and some plants and things, and I just like to kind of hide the path covers a bit more, like so, using different ones, different pieces. You don't have to do this, but sometimes I think it looks a little bit better if you add a little something around it just to cover up what you've done. Then on this one, all I've done here is I've taken some rings from the shapes or better shapes, and I've added a flag in the middle just to dress it up, and then I've used these pieces here which are from the Architect toolbox, and I've basically just kind of put these like this around the edge, again from the Architect toolbox set. And then I've taken these lights here which are from the extra. Look here. So we've got, the set is called extra lights, and this is just the spotlights. So I've just added these to the bottom of these little kind of support towers I've made here just to dress it up. So that's something you could do. You could put whatever you want around the edge, flags or rocks, I don't know, you could do anything you like to. You could do any color scheme and add colors onto it. That's basically how I do this kind of illusion of a round ride rather than having this standard square. So one last thing, this is just a really quick one actually. I like to work with the path textures that they have in the game. I think these textures are really cool. So I'm just going to do some different colors here. So if I was working, for instance, say on a diagonal path, like so. You want to merge that into a different texture. What I like to do is I like to take a path cover, because I want to keep the texture of these paths. I like to take the path cover and just do it on the edges. So I take a triangle and I just run this along the edge like so. And this kind of just hides the zigzag and just gives the illusion of it being diagonal. And then for the middle, sometimes I just like to add a piece across the middle just to kind of make that transition a bit better, and I can maybe just colour the path here into the same colour as the path. So let's just see if that's a good match. That's a bit light, I think, actually, so I'm just going to make that a little bit darker. That's not too bad, so I'll go with that one. And then I'm just going to take this piece here and just fill in the rest of the gap. That's basically how I do that in my parks, just to make it look a bit more smooth, look a little bit better. I'm not saying you have to do this, but I think it looks okay. And then obviously you can add street lights and fences and rails, whatever you like along the side, just to dress it up, but that's kind of the basic idea. And the last thing I like to do here is just basically, this is just some lift hill details, nothing crazy. I'm just going to take a piece of Wild Mouse track, so click on this. I'm just going to show you some of the little details that you could add onto your coasters just to make them look a little bit better. So let's take a lift hill here, let's put it up. I'm just going to stop there. Obviously your coaster will be higher than this, but I'm just showing you for visual, make it easier to see. So the first thing I like to do is just obviously add catwalks. So I have the Catwalks mod installed, and I'm just going to place this along the edge. And you can obviously colour these however you want to. I like to keep them kind of grey and then put a little coloured accent on the edge to match the coaster. But that's just my personal taste. Then obviously you need to add the handrail. This could be quite tedious sometimes if you're doing a large coaster, but I always think in the end it looks really good once you've done the whole thing and it actually starts to look really realistic. I think it's a nice thing to do, but like I said, tedious. So I'm just going to place these down. The isometric camera just fooled me, right? Okay, and the last piece. So there's my rails, and then for the nighttime mode, I like to take the little light from the Catwalks and just add this along each segment. Like so. Now if you are building a really high roller coaster, if you want to add a really nice little detail, I take a little pole from Shy Guys Dining Set, like so. I take one of those lights again, but I colour it red. Now normally these are on high roller coasters, just so that aeroplanes that are flying nearby can see that there's a high tall structure there. So that's something I like to just add there. And this, I believe, is from the wall decoration set, and it's just like a little control box kind of thing. So I'm just going to add that on the edge there like that. So that's a nice little detail there you can add. I'm just going to go into night mode so you can see what it looks like. So we have a nice lit up catwalk and the little red alert light on top. So back to day. And the last thing I like to do, I mean, I've done some custom supports here. You can do that however you want to. I'm just going to take a square from the shapes. I'm just going to dot this along the bottom here. Just make like a rectangle. Take a bigger one just to give it the look of some sort of structure, make it look more sturdy. And I'm going to add one here as well at the end of the lift hill. I mean, this is done in many different ways on coasters. I'm just showing you one way. The B&M ones obviously have a carry-through chain. So I'm going to take a cog here from the, I think it's from details maybe. I type it in the search normally, or from props. I think it's on the props. I'm just going to add a cog here on the edge. I'm going to put one here at the top of the track. I'm going to add one here at the bottom, and then just some on the side here, just for the look. That something technical is going on. It doesn't have to be like majorly realistic. And then I'm just going to take a black beam. This is from the architectural set. Beams. This is this one, vertical beam. I just like to add that up here like so. Obviously there's a support in the way right now, so you can't see it, but that will look like this here. And then I like to do a horizontal beam. This is just kind of representing the chain, and the chain will go into the box here at the bottom. And that's basically just like another little detail that I like to add. And also I've got rid of the supports here by using the little shrub. I've sunk it a little bit into the ground because, as I've said before, sometimes I like to use trees, but I've been using the shrub more recently, like so. So that's maybe something you could try as well. So thank you for watching. I hope this has helped or given you some inspiration, or you want to go and try something now in the game with doing some of these things. But if you have anything else that you want to know how to do, or you want to do, or anything you want to improve on, then leave me a comment down below in the description box, and I will try and make another tips and tricks video for you guys. But thanks for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye.